What if the best part of reading isn't the book, but sharing it with others? We're often led to believe that reading is something solitary, something we do alone, something introspective, something quiet. But for so many of us, the real magic starts when we start sharing the book with others, when we hear how others interpreted the book, the things that stood out for them and how it impacted them. And that's when a book becomes more than just a story, it becomes a conversation. And yet, readers are still really hungry for that conversation. Somehow we end up still feeling alone as readers. And this is because we live in a time when digital life makes us more connected than ever, and yet somehow more isolated than ever. And our attention is more divided than ever. Conversations are shorter, conversations are shallower, and what happens is when we read, we aren't always talking about it with anyone. We aren't always sharing what we're reading with others, and we're not always listening to others about what they've read. And yet a lot of readers are really hungry for this conversation. They just don't know where to find it. And that's really the heart of this video. What are reading communities and how can we find them in this time? And that's really the heart of this video. That's what this video is really all about, is what can reading communities do for you as a reader? How can you find them and how can you participate in them? So if we think about it, reading communities, first of all, they just help make the reading experience better overall. They really enrich your reading experience because it takes it from just a solitary act to something that you're doing with others, something that means you are engaging with others around you. You don't really finish a book until you've started to talk about it. Others interpret themes that you miss, or they see things that you just completely miss in the book. And it's not because you're a bad reader, and it's not because you're not well educated or not an expert or anything like that. It's just that other people see other things because they have a different perspective on it. And you too, you can share your perspective with them, and you can help them see things that they didn't see on that. And that in turn kind of helps you reflect on the book. It helps you reflect on your own beliefs. It helps you reflect on how you view the world, and maybe it will change and shape the way that you view the world. Reading communities also make you a braver reader. And this is something I've talked about in a couple of different videos, and something I really feel really strongly about. We need to be brave readers. Reading communities help give you permission to read outside your comfort zone, to help you find new books, new authors, writers from new places that you don't know about. And it doesn't necessarily mean they hold your hand while you do it, but it helps you realize you're not alone in doing that. And it kind of makes it a little safer. It kind of gives you the right to do it, or the permission to do it. It helps you break out of your comfort zone as a reader. All right, now normally you'd find a reading community or a book club, in a library or in a school or in a community where people would gather. But nowadays we don't have to do it that way. Now we can do them digitally. They can be in your pocket, they're in your laptop, they're on your screen, and they're available anytime you need them. It's not just limited to specific meeting times. So the most obvious one, I guess, is YouTube. Interacting with YouTube creators, booktubers, leaving comments, but that's not really a great community. That tends to just be one-way transmission of information. It's not actually communication. It's not back and forth. It can be to a certain extent. From my experience, the better way to do it is, yes, be active with BookTube, be active with YouTube, but make connections with real people and take those connections to other platforms offline. You'll find a lot of BookTube people are running Discord servers, they have Patreons. There might be a small fee to pay for that, $3 a month or $5 a month. Hopefully you can afford that. And I think what you'll find though is that taking that step offline gives you a much higher quality interaction, and you find better and more real and richer interactions with real people. And to be honest with you, there's a bit of a barrier of entry, $3 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month. It filters out a lot of the clowns. And that brings me to a really important point. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be a professional book critic. You don't need to have 10, 20, 30 years of book criticism, of talking about books professionally. You don't have to be like that. You can be somebody who just got back into reading, You can be somebody who's been reading all your life. It doesn't matter. As long as you enjoy reading, as long as you're into it, as long as you have an enjoyment of reading and enjoyment of books, that's all you need to participate in these communities. So that brings me to what I've learned as being a part of BookTube and as interacting and reaching out to other reading communities, to other readers out there. So since starting this channel, I've learned that I'm not alone as a reader, and I'm not alone in the type of books that I enjoy reading. There's a lot of people out there who do like the same books that I do, and who like the same authors, and who I've learned some completely new books. And that doesn't just come from watching book reviews of books I don't know about. A lot of that really came from conversations, from chats, and from interactions offline. And the ways I've done that offline are, I have joined a couple of Patreons. I quit some of them. There's one that I've stayed with. The one that's really good is the Life on Books Patreon. And they run a great Discord channel also, or Discord server, I should say. I will put a link for that down below. Also too, like I've just made a couple of friends. One really good friend that I've joined with is Lecden, and we often do just chat offline. We just chat on our phones. We've done buddy reads together. So that's kind of the next thing to do, is like find people that have similar tastes and start reading books together is a really great step to do. And again, go back to what I said before about being a braver reader, about challenging yourself. Try to choose a book that you don't know or something you wouldn't normally read, and you can really push yourself. Or maybe choose a book that you've tried to read before but you couldn't get through it. Together you can get through that book, and you have someone to not only be accountable, but to also have that kind of conversation with as you go or as you finish the book. And I guarantee you, it's going to enrich your reading experience, and you're going to find a kind of friendship that you've been missing. Some of the best conversations I've had this year about books have been with people I met through YouTube, but then carried it further, either messaging back and forth on WhatsApp or something like that, or in a Discord server. And I can guarantee you, if you do that, you will really, really learn a lot. Okay, last section here. We're going to give a reflection, a call to action. Before I do that, I want to say thank you if you've stuck with me this far. I've been recording outside lately since I came back to San Francisco. It's been really windy. San Francisco has the most beautiful and also the strangest weather I've ever experienced in my life. So remember that books connect us, but sharing them with others, that makes us feel human. And as humans, we need to be a part of a community. So as human readers, we need to be a part of a reading community. So whether that's talking with a friend, whether it's leaving comments on a video, whether it's a Zoom call with strangers talking about a book, reading is much better when we don't do it alone. The story doesn't have to end on the last page. It can continue when we have a conversation about it. So leave some thoughts in the comments below. Let us know about some online bookish communities that you know about, or how do you experience reading with others together in the age of social media.